What's up, guys? It's Phil over here, Mr. Clay over there, and we are back with our 7th Coach's Corner video.
No, 8th.
Oh, 8th, you're right. I'm wrong. So number 8, we are going to be talking about
Posing.
some posing. This is going to be one of the most crucial things that you can do outside of your training, food, diet, the whole 9. Posing is going to be what separates you on the stage. When you're posing, you can be the best looking person to walk into a show, but if you can't pose, you're not going to win. Somebody who doesn't look as good as you can beat you.
Absolutely.
If you cannot pose. Posing is the whipped cream and cherry on top to seal the deal when it comes to competing.
I have a saying that I tell everybody, and I say this religiously because it's true. You can have the best physique in the world, but if you cannot display your physique, you cannot win a show. You have to show them what you look like. You'll be backstage, know that you look that good. You're going to look around, you're going to look at other people, but man, I'm better than these people. I'm tighter than these people, I'm bigger than these people, I'm rounder than these people, I have a better look than these people. But if you can't take that look and put it on stage and display it, and someone with a lesser physique can display their physique, they're going to beat you all day long because they're going to cut the angles, cut the corners, show themselves at the best angle to those judges while you're just standing there, which eventually they're going to outshine you. So let's talk about this first. How often should you practice, and when should you start practicing posing?
I like to say you should start practicing at least 6 to 8 weeks out.
I would agree. If you're an experienced competitor, you should never stop practicing.
Yeah, I'm in off season and I still go through my poses.
I do too.
Especially my vacuums. That's something we'll touch on a little bit later in this video. But guys, when you're practicing posing, he says all the time, you practice perfect for perfect posing.
Right.
Now, what he means by when he says that is that you're going to practice like you're on stage. There's a lot of people that pose and I feel like they're not posing 100%. And now, especially when you're getting ready to show, especially that like 6 to 8 weeks that we're talking about, that's when you're giving 100% posing. And that comes with facial features. I know I'm telling my clients all the time, smile. You're not just showing your physique, you have to display your entire body.
Well, let's talk about this for a second. In the rules of bikini, let's talk about it. It says the entire stage presence and package, okay? That's telling you that it matters if you smile. It matters how you do your hair. It matters how you look to those judges because they're judging your package also, which is not just your physique, but it's the entire thing you bring up there. You got to come out there being confident. You have to come out there, hit your poses. For girls, you got to show some sass. For some men's physique guys, it's a little bit of on the arrogant side or the cockiness side of, I know how good I look. I've worked this hard for it, so now look at me. I mean, you don't want to be a prick, but you do want to show that you're very confident that you know that you did the work that was necessary.
You want to walk out on that stage like you own that stage. You have to walk out there knowing that first slot position is yours, because if you walk out there and you don't think that first spot is yours, then the judges will see it. From the moment you step out from behind that curtain onto that stage, you should be presentable.
Yes.
There is not a moment in which when you're facing the judges that you're fully relaxed.
Right.
Now, the reason I say that is because obviously we do need to breathe, and then we have tips and tricks like when you turn around or certain spots where you can do that. But every second you are standing on that stage, you need to be displaying. Even if you're standing on the side, even the whole time.
All right. So for some of you who have not done shows before, what's going to happen is you're going to line up. You're going to line up to either the right or the left of the stage, and you're going to come up on stage. Once you hit those stairs, you can see the judges and they can see you. Your package should be show ready. That means, all right, I'm going to use men's physique for an example. For a men's physique guy, Lats out, abs hard, mildly breathing. Why are we flexing our abs? Because we want to show that nice six pack. So if that judge glances up to see who's next coming out, they caught you looking good. Why are we showing our lats out? To show the taper to our waist, to show our presence of being bigger. We're not just sitting here hunched over like we're nervous. We're showing we're ready to go do this. So when they say, number 65, you're next, and you go up there, you get your 15 seconds to do your front back front in that men's physique category, you're already walking out with core tightened, lats out, smile on your face, shallowly breathing, not deep breaths to make your gut and chest expand, but that nice shallow breathing, and you hit that pose, let all your air out so you saran wrap that skin, make it nice and tight. Hit your front pose with confidence. That first pose you hit, you make it look beautiful. You do your transition, you face to your rear, you open up that back, let them see it. When you're facing that rear, take a couple breaths. Remember, we're displaying this physique for about 4 to 5 seconds because we're doing a front back front. All right, so then after you take those couple breaths, get all your air out as you come back around and finish off with a strong, showing everything you have, the abs, the chest, the shoulders, showing that physique. You're being judged from the second you're seen to the second you're off that stage. So now you walk over to the side and you're standing in your line on your diagonal. You stand there with abs flexed, smiling, staring at the judges. So when they look at you, you know it. You're looking right at them. You want to look at those judges. Make that eye contact. Look over their heads. If you're nervous, you just look right over their heads. But you do not relax. You do not sit back on the pose. You give them the pose the whole time. For you classic and bodybuilding guys, what are we judged on first?
Oh, you're front relaxed.
So you come out in that front relax and you hit that front relax pose. You don't just go out there and stand there because it's called a relax pose.
I always like to play with my quads.
Right. You go out there, you hit one quad, hit the other quad. You'll see, I think there's a video floating around from, what's that show we did last year together down in Miami? First Call Outs. I've seen it a couple times this week on Instagram of me. When I walk out, I hit one quad, I hit the other quad, I take a couple steps, I hit a quad, because I knew my lines were the best. I showed them. That's why I won that class. As I let them know I thought I was the best, and I don't mind flexing the whole time I'm walking up here so you can see these little things, because that's what you're drawing that attention to yourself. And to win a show, what do we need? Attention.
Exactly.
So we hit our front relax. Bodybuilding and classic then do their quarter turns. You're making a freaking impression right now. You need to hit those quarter turns like your life depends on it. You hit those turns, you have a transition into everything to make it look good. Don't just sidestep and turn. You take a step, you're turning to your right. All our quarter turns are to our right. My guys, you better never do a left turn. We are a quarter turn to the right, quarter turn to the right, quarter turn to the right. No matter what, you practice it that way and you do it that way on stage. We never go to the left. If they call a quarter turn to the left, that's on them because it's all right turns. Okay?
Another big thing with posing and the practice that I don't think everyone takes into consideration is that, yes, you're practicing your poses and you're practicing holding your poses. What you have to think about too is practicing the shallow breathing and partially holding your breath. Now, when we're sitting there and making you pose, and I know you do this too, I write on people's programs, normally starting out, it'll be like 15, 30 seconds. And I always get up to, maybe even a minute, because I've been on stage, I think the longest I've been on stage was like a 14-minute comparison, because the whole video is about 14 minutes long. But when you're on stage and you're going that long, and you can, when you're on stage for that long, they're weaning out who didn't practice. After those first couple minutes, you will see who starts breathing heavy. They didn't practice.
And you see your conditioning level for real.
The practice is not only the posing and being in the correct pose, but it's being able to hold that pose for that long. Because you can see in almost any competition, especially I feel like classic, I'll point classic out on here, because of the stomach vacuums. I know I've come fault on here before. Practicing my vacuums, I didn't do well enough into my last show, and that's part of the reason why I'm bringing this up, is because after... Gosh, they had us out there for so long during that overall. It was a really long time, which is why they did it. But I feel like I lost that classic overall partially because I was doing my vacuums for front double bi and abdominal and thigh.
Right.
And then on like the 4th round that we had to come back to it, I couldn't pull them anymore. And that means my stomach was loose. I wasn't holding a pose, and that was, I know for a fact, the point.
And we did about 8 rounds on that one, right?
It was a lot.
And we did 8 rounds. There was a pose down. There was not just the 8 rounds, but sometimes they would hit a rear double bi and tell them to face, do a front double bi. Face, do a rear double bi. Face, do a front double bi. Because they're comparing them front to back, because one was stronger on one while the other stronger on another. So they're comparing that. So when you practice posing, first thing you do, you get in a routine. We'll go over my routine. Phil can tell you his routine. I wake up in the morning. I go into the bathroom. I pose before I do anything. I get in that mirror. I do my front relax and my quarter turns. I do all my mandatory poses, and then I do usually a minute to a minute and a half of free posing. Kind of like you would for a classic. You usually have to do a free pose before you do your quarter turns and stuff. So you come out and you do your free pose. I do that free posing every single morning. Then I go do my cardio. When I come back, before I get in my shower, I do it again every morning. I make it a routine. During that, I practice vacuums a lot because I'm a big guy. So when I can vacuum, it's pretty impressive compared to the other guys that can't. So after you practice that, that's twice that day. Then when I get to the gym, in between my sets, what do we usually do?
Normally posing.
We do posing. If I'm doing back, I'll do lat spreads. I'll do a rear double bicep. I'll do some classic poses where you angle and arch your back. I'll do some classic poses where you reach back, because that's on my back day. On my shoulder day, we do a lot of front relaxes, don't we?
Oh yeah.
Where those shoulders are just round and we're holding them tight, putting the blood in. The reason why is now we're fatigued because we're training. Now we're posing in a fatigued environment, so it's more realistic to how we are at show. Because you're fatigued at show, you are tired. We've gotten water out of you, so you're dehydrated. You've trained for this for how many weeks to be on this stage? Yeah, and then you got all the elements of you're at a show, you have people watching you, you're being judged. This is the only single time that you have to win that show. So you want to be your best. So you practice. Now, for you girls, especially bikini, wellness, and figure, there's a variable. And that's your what?
Heels.
Yes, it is. Your
now,
heels.
Every female, bikini, figure, and wellness, you need to be able to walk in heels comfortably, pose in them comfortably, because the last thing you want to do on that stage is look like a newborn gazelle. You do not want to be stumbling. You do not want to be fumbling. The girls especially, I just feel like the best posers, you can just feel their energy in their posing. Not just females.
Becca, her very first show.
That girl's a really good poser. When you're a good poser,
made her package complete.
And that's kind of like what we talked about in the beginning. If you have 2 really great packages, which is kind of like the example that we're talking about,
yep.
But if you can stun your posing, it's almost a dance. It's a dance on stage. When you're on that stage and you're running through your poses, it should be like methodical, like very enjoyable to watch. There shouldn't be quick, edgy movements. It's all like the best poses are always so fluid, and that is a big thing for the girls in heels. Because you can tell what females are good at walking in heels, and you can tell which ones are not as good.
And you have a lot of walking to do.
You do have a lot of walking to do. You have the different poses to stand in, and getting up on your toe or driving through your heels is very different in heels. So for the girls, do not practice outside of your heels, because you will build bad habits, and that is a thing that I see across all posing.
I'm clapping to that because it's something that we preach. And I'll have girls that say, I'm here for my posing. Do you have your heels? No. I'll tell you what, I had a girl come in yesterday. She didn't have her suit, but she had her heels. When she got here, she's like, Coach, I couldn't go home and get my suit, but I keep my heels with me because I know you make me have them every time I'm here. So I have my heels. So we didn't pose as in so I can see her, but she practiced her walking. She practiced her walk out from the side. She did all her poses in it. Now I can't see her lines in her legs and stuff like that because she had pants on. But one of the big things I think you should buy as girls is either a practice suit or a bikini that mimics the shape of your suit you're going to wear on stage, because it makes a difference for your coach and for yourself to see your lines. You need to know how you look best. Your coach needs to know how you look best. Need to know how you look best. And we have to put you in the positions that are going to flatter you so your mind muscle memory can get there from practicing. So one of the major things with bikini girls, figure girls, and wellness girls is you're going to walk out from that side stage. If you're not good in heels, if you don't wear heels every day, if you're not amazing, start doing your dishes in the heels. Start cleaning your house and vacuuming in the heels. Start using your heels on a daily basis to do small things. I've had girls, and they can chime in on here if they want to in the comments and say,
I know what you're gonna say
that this is true. I've made them wear their heels to the gym to work out in consistently every day but leg days, because I needed them to be that good in heels, and they're that good in heels now. Because they were in the gym, people were like, why are you wearing your heels? Coach told me to. But what did I do? I forced them in an uncomfortable position to make them better.
Absolutely.
And now they're thankful for it because they're very good in heels. I made them wear them at home when they were doing dishes. I made them wear it at home when they were walking with their kids. I made them wear them to get comfortable in them and learn how to walk in them, because it's not something that's easy.
Posing is not easy. For anyone who's never competed before, I hear it every single time with a new client. I know you do too. But guys, posing is hard.
Yep.
Good posing is even harder.
Yep.
The best posers, like I said, it should look easy. It should look fluid. It shouldn't look, especially for guys, when you're posing, you can tell when guys are trying really hard on their face. And I know I have stage photos where I just got this like ugly face because I'm trying to pose as hard as I can. And the best posers will not do that. The hard part about the posing is not even just the hard part, but posing isn't comfortable.
Right.
You're not
hurts.
You're not comfortably sitting in your poses. It should look like you're comfortable, but
there's muscles that are hurting. For you girls, your lower back is gonna hate you because you're popping your butt out. You're putting your shoulders upright. You're keeping your obliques looking nice and slim. You're standing to your side. You have all your weight on one leg with another one, weight just slightly on a pinky toe. You're showing some straps coming out of your leg, but not over showing conditioning. For a men's physique guy, he's coming up, he's opening his back up from his back pose. When he comes back to the front, he has his hip down, canted. You're pushing towards the direction of the judges with one hip while pushing it down at the same time and making the oblique look good. You're showing a slim a slim line waist, so you're not breathing in and out, which thickens it because your organs are moving with that when those lungs expand with all that air. It's a total different ball game. If you're comfortable, you're doing it wrong. As you can see, classic and bodybuilding's poses are a lot different. I love classic.
I love classic.
I like the fun you can do with classic, the different poses you can do with classic, the angles you can hit. That's why I compete in it. I'm in love with the posing. Bodybuilding though, bodybuilding gives you a little bit more, like one of our pros, Brian. He's known for the faces he makes. He's always having fun. And, he comes in and does his most muscular, and he always has this just grin and his teeth are showing, and it goes with his look. But that's bodybuilding. It's a little bit more aggressive style look than the classic, flowing into it with a big old smile on your face. For you wellness girls, you have to know what shows the right amount. Your conditioning and your amount of muscle can show too much lines because of your posing, or not enough lines because of your posing.
Especially even in the bikini girls, judges don't like, especially in their back poses, if you flare out. One of the last posts, they made a big statement about that. They don't want you flaring out your lats in your back pose. They want them nicely set.
You want to put your shoulders there, drop them down, and just have your elbows enough out that it shows an hourglass from the rear.
They don't want you
lat spreading.
Flaring, correct. So guys, perfect practice makes perfect posing. That's something we say here often.
And what do we do when someone's not posing correctly? If they're working, let's say he's working with a client and they're not posing correctly and they keep hitting it, what do I come and say? I yell at the client pretty much. Stop right here. Yes, you're posing, but you're not posing perfect. If you're not posing perfect now, you're not going to pose perfect on stage. We pose perfect every time.
And you don't want bad habits.
Redo it until it's perfect.
Because on stage, you will fall into those habits. Your mind gets going crazy. The pressure's on, the adrenaline, the whole nine. And if you don't have good habits, you're going to do those habits on stage. We've seen it time and time again. I can't tell you how many people, or even myself, have lost because of bad posing or just being outposed.
And I'm going to give you guys and leave with this. Pose as much as you can with everybody that you can. Learn what you like from those people that you're not going to take much from. Learn what you like from them, take it. Leave the rest behind. Go to somebody else. Learn what you like, take it. Leave the rest behind. Come to another person, learn what you like, leave it, leave the rest of it. Because you gain, if you learn one thing in posing from every person you pose with, you're going to be a better poser. Ultimately too, if you're using a coach, listen to your coach. Your coach is looking at your physique. We have a girl, Mary, she's never been beat yet. I mean, she's a really good athlete, isn't she?
She's really good.
And her posing, though, we work with her on her posing to make her physique perfect looking, because there's no perfect physique. But consistently, she's won because when we work on her posing, we do things differently with her because she's 4 foot tall. Not really, she's 4 foot, what, 10? I think 4 foot 10. So we have to, we kind of manipulate her posing a little bit, which actually makes her physique flow perfectly. And we put her in that 100 times a day when we pose with her, because that mind-muscle connection. And then when she goes from somebody else and she learns something else, she comes back and says, do you like this? Do you like this? Once again, we put her where what we see, because we're in the audience, or we're sitting where the judges see when we practice posing, and make it look perfect. But that's the biggest thing, is make sure your coach looks at your physique. Just because you think something looks good in the mirror doesn't mean it's going to look good sitting from a judge's position. Remember, we're sitting lower and looking up. Your mirror, you're looking down on yourself. Your eyes to your glutes is looking down. So you're not looking on a level position or an up position. Judges are looking from down here to up here. So that's a big thing, to make sure your coach looks at your posing. On to you, and you wrap it on up.
I had 2 things I want to say. One of the things I wanted to say was, as a new competitor, you always hear, I want to look like C-Bone. I freaking love C-Bone, so I want to look like Chris Bumstead. Well, I actually have a body type similar to him, but for the most part, when you're looking at these pros, guys, you can look at them and take tips from them. But you have to remember, everyone's body type is different. You can't pose exactly the way your favorite person is, maybe because they have a different body type, they have different muscle insertions, whatever it so be. You guys have to take the things that you learn and display what is best for you, your body type, and your personality. You can't have more of a timid poser pose all aggressive, like so-and-so.
Let's use this as an example. My favorite poser out there is Terrence Ruffin. Yes. Local guy right here in Florida, not far from where we're sitting. I love his posing. But guess what? I can't pose like him. I'm a good foot taller. I'm a good 70 pounds heavier. And I don't have that shape. He has got amazing side quad. He does a lot of poses from his side where you can see his hamstring round out and his quad coming, nice cuts coming down. I'm not built like that. That extra foot of height I have changes it all up, because now I have a very long quad. So my length of my quad is probably 1.5 times his size. I'm not going out as far as him, and if I met my weight, I will never be able to have that look of a quad on that distance of leg. So I can't pose like him. I enjoy watching him pose. I may take tips and alter it, but I can't do his posing ever, because it'll never fit on my body. So that's just an example.
So guys, the takeaway from this, your posing should be you. Don't just try to go up there and mock somebody, because it doesn't always work. Always listen to your coach. I feel like that's
one of the biggest things.
It's an overall for all of the videos that we talk about. When you're posing, you're showing your strengths, hiding your weaknesses.
Yes.
You're smiling and displaying your best product on stage. So guys, practice and remember to enjoy the process.
Yes.
You have to enjoy yourself on stage. And I feel like that was a big thing that hit me this past year and a half or so, is I'm more of an experienced athlete now. I've stepped on stage over 12 times.
Right. I've been in
way
pro
more than 12
qualifiers.
times. if you go up there and just enjoy yourself, you have to know you got that first place slot, and just go out there and show your best, smile, and enjoy yourself.
All right, guys, we hope you take something from this video. Practice, practice, practice. If you've shown before, you should be practicing every day. If you haven't shown before, wait till that 6 week out. There's a purpose for that. Is a lot of times we don't know what your physique is going to look like. So we may teach you some basics, but they're not your poses. They're the basics of posing. So when we start posing, do it. Go to all the seminars you want to. Take what you like, leave what you don't like. Everybody has a different style of posing. It has to be something that fits you and your personality, and you have to enjoy it, and then practice it over and over and over and over and over.
Well, guys, thanks for watching. Please go ahead and smash the subscribe button. Please give us a thumbs up, hit the like, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
I need more subscribers, more likes, because we don't have a lot.
Have a great day, guys.
See ya.